Welcome to our Wednesday evening power hour. And tonight we're going to be unpacking a very, very, very sensitive and powerful topic. Boundaries. And our topic is the biggest lesson you will ever love, from guilt to power. So I would like to introduce Moshe, our interviewee tonight. And really, I want to say that how this specific topic came about was, it was probably about 2 years ago when Moshe had read something around boundaries, and then he came to me and he was just so excited about a big aha revelation that he'd had. And like I could see his excitement, and I was all in, and I wanted to know more. And he explained it to me, and I was like it didn't land. I didn't understand it at all. And I was like, okay, well, it took him about 3 or 4 times to explain it to me, only because it was so foreign. But let me tell you, when it landed, I was like, oh my goodness, are you joking? This is genius. This is genius, and I see it, and it is. It really, really is. So, Mosh, you can introduce yourself. Tell them why they can trust what you have to say here tonight.
Okay, so my name is Moshe. I'm a father of 4 and a grandfather of 1. And I am an engineer. And I'm not just qualified as an engineer, I am an engineer in my soul. I love to figure out how things work, and not least of all, how I work and how people work. And I'm always like fiddling inside, trying to figure it all out. And I have spent an enormous part of my life doing that for myself. And I have involved myself in certainly building this human being through all sorts of different ways. And, I have even, gotten some success in this. I've done coaching. I've lectured at
Gibbs.
Gibbs. Yeah, sorry. I'm just people coming in and I'm like, I lectured at Gibbs, and I just really, really love this stuff. I love thinking about it. I love picking it apart. I love, growing in myself. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And I hope to share some of what happened for me and with you, and hopefully you'll get something out of it.
Beautiful. Mosh, before we go on, I'm so glad that Tech Guy is here tonight, because you and I are supposed to be side by side on the screen, and we're not.
Ah, okay. I will figure that out.
This is normally where I go, Mosh will fix it. Luckily, he's on the workshop. So let me carry on while you figure that out. So for everybody who's joined, welcome, welcome, welcome. To get the absolute best out of the next 55 minutes, I ask that you limit distractions, get granny, partner, whoever to see to the kids, put your phone off, get a journal out. You're going to want to take notes. I say this every time, but I really, really mean it. That whatever you hear and whatever really resonates was meant for you. You were supposed to hear that. And so that's the very thing that you need to write down. Towards the end, we will take all questions. And this is a recording, so we will be sharing the link. So if you really love it, hopefully you can go and share it with the people that you love that maybe also be struggling with boundaries. So let's dive right in. And obviously we have to start with the most obvious question. Mosh, what are boundaries? Yes. And what are not boundaries? Like, we need to make that clear distinction.
Okay, so I think I'm going to answer that question with the thing that made me think about all of this, right? So the first thing was that people would say things like, ooh, I need to put up a boundary. And I was like, this doesn't really make sense to me, right? What does it mean to be like put up a boundary? And I began to think about it. And actually what I came up with was that we really don't put up boundaries. Boundaries are already there, right? If you think about your computer, you know where the computer is and where it ends. There's like a very nice clean line. And I kind of felt that that was what the way the world is, and even our emotional world, right? So it's not that we put up boundaries. It's more that we choose or don't choose to defend those boundaries, right? And there's all sorts of amazing reasons and really good reasons and some really, really bad reasons why we don't defend our boundaries. So,
okay, so I'm going to pause you there. So just to be very clear, a boundary is not something you put up. It's already there, and it is your job to defend it. Is that what I'm hearing correctly? When you say it's already there, like, you're going to have to be clearer about that.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that when you feel something going on inside you, right? That is you recognizing that somebody else has breached a boundary, right? So let's just say, I got a text the other day from my brother, who I haven't spoken to in 15 years. It felt a bit inappropriate to me. Like, you don't just out of the blue, just hello. And it was a boundary of my own intimacy. That boundary had been crossed. Now, I know that, and he knows that. Everybody knows that. I chose to do nothing, right? Because that was the choice I made to either.
Okay, so now you're getting onto the solution.
Right?
Pause.
No, I'm saying, okay, fine. But what I'm saying is that the point I'm trying to make is that it was already there. And
you felt it.
And I felt it.
Okay, right? So that's the part I want to make very, very clear. How do you know that your boundaries are being, what word did you use?
Breached.
Breached. How do you know your boundaries are being breached? Because your body tells you. You feel it, it comes in. Some kind of resistance, your heart starts pounding quicker, your breath quickens, but there's another part. For me, if I haven't noticed the feeling in my body because I'm just busy, or my behavior starts to change. So I will be fine, and suddenly I am, I don't know, moving faster, or or I'm like putting my phone down instead of putting my phone down, or I'm like, what, to my kids. And so there's a distinct change in my feeling in my body or in my behavior. And if you just know that, you are going to be able to take the next step. So you have to notice that something is up before we can even go any further. Okay, so that's already there, and you're going to feel it, or your behavior is going to change. Okay, amazing.
Right, 100%. My response is often I get tired. I want to lie down.
Wow.
I want to go and watch a thing. Like I just.
Oh, you get avoidance.
Get avoidance, right? So
Yes.
it's very subtle, and it has a very, interesting thing. So can I just bring
I think, yes, go for it.
Okay, so one of the ways that when this sort of thing came to me was I imagined that I owned a farm, right? Let's just say I owned a game farm. And for me, it was like the game farm is mine, right? And I know exactly where it is, right? If I go to the government, they'll say, this is the line right here where your farm ends and the other guy's farm begins. But there's not even a fence up, right? It is mine, but I'm totally choosing to not defend that boundary. So you walk 5 miles into the place, and there's now like a little fence designating, the place where I have all the chalets and the staff houses and my house, and and then you walk in further, and there's actually my house, and there's like a nice big wall there, right? It's like this is not for everybody. And then I have my garden, and then my lounge, my bedroom, my bathroom, right? Now all of those things exist. They're all there. I don't have to, if I find a worker from my neighbor in my farm, I'm like, well, whatever, there's not even a fence. If I find the guy in my bedroom, right, that's a very different thing. Like, I know he's not supposed to be in that place. He breached a boundary that he's not supposed to be in, but my wife can be in there, right? So we choose to defend the boundary based on who the person is.
So it's different for different people.
Different for different people. That's exactly the point. And they exist with or without us, right? The boundary of my farm exists whether I put a fence up or not, right? Yeah.
So like my best friend Jane will be able to hug me and hug me so tight and not let go. But my uncle who hugs me and hugs me so tight and won't let go, that's going to be a physical boundary, and I will feel uncomfortable. And it's the exact same thing that's happening, but because I'm letting her into my house versus my garden or just through my fence, that's very important. So I love that analogy. Okay, so I think the next thing I want to go into is the vocabulary we use around boundaries. So we say things like, I'm going to put up a wall. No, I'm going to defend them. In our minds, we are literally like we're literally putting up these walls. Okay, they're not real, but they're there. And in order for us to thrive as human beings, we need connection. And so when we put up walls, for every single thing that makes us uncomfortable, all we're doing is keeping out people. And when we keep people out, that's a very, very lonely place to be. So the vocabulary around, I've got to defend my boundaries. I stood up for myself. I put it up. It sounds so disconnecting. That is fighting. That is when we're not fighting. When you fight and you think that's not you think. When that's the energy that you're putting boundaries up with, that's half the problem. You're not going to be a happier person because of it. You're going to keep people out, and then you're going to wonder why you are so lonely. So I think the awareness around just a tweak in our vocabulary. Instead of saying, I'm defending. No, we do say defending. Instead of saying,
I'm putting up a boundary, I say I'm defending the boundary or not
yes.
defending.
So when you say I'm defending a boundary, it sounds like I'm protecting little old me. Yay, yes, I'm going to be protecting little old me. So that's very, very important. We're not standing up. We're not fighting. We're just holding a space for ourselves. We've got different types of boundaries, right, Moshe? So we've got physical boundaries. We've got mental boundaries. I don't know if you want to speak more about that.
Okay, so I just wanted to say one thing, right? In the case of your girlfriend and your uncle, right? The boundary was there. One went across, no problem. One went across, and it's like, you needed to defend that. Joe, let me go. I'm not, or if you're going to hug me, I'm leaving. Or Ma, I'm not coming to those are the boundaries you are now choosing to defend, but you don't put them up. They're there. And when you say, like Candace says, putting them up, it creates a distance between you and you, really. Never mind you and the other person.
I love that.
Distracts you from your ability to be able to be effective.
I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
I want to speak a moment about what a life looks like with no boundaries. Like literally what it feels to live in a human body. First of all, why do some people find it so easy? This is a question for you. Why do some people find it so easy to defend boundaries? They have no problem whatsoever. I have about 3 people that have just popped to mind right now. They know their boundaries, they absolutely defend them, and they live a really peaceful life because of it. And then you get the likes of me that's been a work in progress, but actually had no boundaries with anyone, not my children, not my colleagues, not my siblings, not my parents, not my friends. There was nothing that was a boundary. Okay, why are some people able to and some people aren't?
Okay, so there's a number, it's a layered answer, I think. So the first category, easy category of people who have no boundaries are people who are, boundaryless by their own definition or by our definition. So narcissists, right? They have no problem, sociopaths, people who have issues and problems with empathy are people who, they have no boundaries. They couldn't care less. If your boundaries breached or their boundary breached, they just do whatever they want, and they roam through the world, and they have no problem asserting their own boundaries. They just, they're narcissists. Then you have on the other side, right? You have people who are, let's just say, codependent, and I think all of us fit into that, unless I think it's like a mental ill category. But if we take that out, the the people who just sort of wander through life and assert their boundaries. I think there's two other main categories there. The first one is codependence. And codependence means that I cannot bear the pain of someone else's pain, right? So I like, and it's a selfish act, right? I'm being nice to you to calm my own pain, not because I'm really concerned altruistically with your pain. So those kinds of people find it very, very, very hard to assert their boundaries and to defend their boundaries. But I think this is the point. It is their choice, right? They are choosing to not defend the boundary for the reward of not being thought of badly.
Not consciously.
No, not consciously. Not consciously. So that's the point of this, right? Is that what we want to try and do is bring up a tiny little bit of consciousness and go like, oh, hang on, why did I say yes to that request from my colleague when I've got so much work from my boss? What was that about? Like, why did I not defend that boundary of my time, right? And this is what Candy was talking about a little bit. There's physical boundaries, there's emotional boundaries, there's time boundaries, there's money boundaries, there are all sorts of these kinds of things. So I think there's sorry, what? So
yeah. So I thank you. I agree with you. Codependency is a part of that. The narcissist part, that's a whole another conversation. But for me, I know for a fact that I don't defend my boundaries because it is all rooted in fear. It is all deeply rooted in fear. And let me go through some of the fears that I have and the reason that I don't defend my boundaries.
Please,
I am petrified of people leaving me. And it doesn't even have to be people leaving me like permanently. It could just be people ignoring me, withdrawing their love from me, ghosting me, just people withdrawing in any kind of thing. So there's a deep fear of abandonment. There's a deep fear of rejection. One of my biggest fears, a fear of displeasing people. Like if somebody is disappointed in me, if somebody is angry with me, if somebody is irritated with me, inside of me, it is so hard for me. So to avoid that discomfort, I'm just like, whatever, like, yeah, rather just come at me, rather just let me abandon myself over and over again. But just the awareness of knowing that it's all rooted in fear. And here's the thing. Those fears are not real, they're imagined. And they're rooted from childhood. Like they really are. And we don't even need to go into that. This behavior is subconscious and it's rooted in fear. So when you understand that, then you can go, okay, now I get it. Everyone has a similar thing. Everybody's scared. And to avoid pain, we do the opposite of what we know we need to do. So this is about the awareness. Now, let me tell you what my life looks like without boundaries. Hey, I am not a happy person. I am snappy. I'm irritable. I say things like, oh, everybody just wants a piece of me. And can I not even get time for myself? And I feel like a doormat that everybody just steps on and wipes their feet on. And I'm very resentful and I'm very angry with everybody, even the people that are the most dear to me. And so when I realize that that's the life that I live without boundaries, now there's a light switch that starts to happen in my head. And I'm like, okay, so yes, it's uncomfortable to do what we're just about to teach them to do. But that's way worse. It's way worse to get into bed at night and go, oh, I feel so unappreciated. Nobody sees me. I'm invisible. I have no value. I'm not good enough, which is how you feel when you have no boundaries. So we either change because we can see that the reward is so great, so we're drawn to the reward, or we change because the pain is so great, we want to get away from the pain. Those are only the real two reasons that we change. And so I want people who are listening to this to go like really look at their lives. Where in your life do you know that you are resentful and angry, and you think it's because of everybody else? You think it's because of the demands of work. You think it's because of the demands of your colleagues, your children, your spouse, your mother, your father. But actually, it's because you're too uncomfortable to say no and displease people.
Can I come in?
Of
Are you
course.
done? Sorry.
Yeah. No, it was a perfect time.
Okay, good. So I just wanted to say, like just a few words: fear, currency, choices, right? I agree with Candace 100%. It's all based in fear, right? We are afraid to defend our boundaries because of something we don't want, right? That's there. So I want to talk to you a little bit about currency, right? So money is not the only currency, right? We trade in all sorts of ways as adults with each other. So people trade with, for instance, health, right? You're like, oh, when you want something, you say, oh, I'm sick, or I'm, you know, or I'm feeling bad, or I've got a headache. Like you trade like that, or you trade with, you know, with
Time.
sex. You trade with time. You trade with, you know, people give and take all sorts of things, right, in order to get and give what they want. And there is a price. There is a price to defend a boundary, whatever it is, right? If you mention Uncle Joe, right, then there's an explosion. A whole family, you don't want to pay that price, right? And here's the kicker, and this was so hard for me. This was so hard when I got this part. It was like, right? Choices. It's my choice. I choose to have somebody invade my space, right? And for instance, I'll take a call from somebody I don't like, I don't want, they can't shut up, because I don't want to appear to be the bad guy, right? So I take a call from this person and they chewing my ear off and I can't bear it and I want to just tell them I don't even want to be friends with you or whatever it is, right? But I don't do it because I don't want to pay the price of being the bad guy. So I don't defend my boundary. That's not a great reason. They're very good reasons to defend boundaries, but it's all based in fear. What am I going to lose? What currency am I prepared to trade in? In my case, it's not being seen as bad, but there's millions of currencies, right? And the main thing, it's me. I'm doing this. I am choosing to have the bad thing happen, the boundary breached, whatever it is, I'm choosing it because I don't want to pay the fee and I don't want to feel the fear.
Like when I say no to my kids and they're like, oh, and huff and puff, and it's so uncomfortable. And the rest of the afternoon, I know is going to be like, I don't know, just disconnected and irritated. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, go for it. Because the price is my peace or their happiness for the rest of the afternoon. But it is a choice.
And
Am I
it's
right?
oh my God, it's your choice.
Yes,
And
yes.
that, I mean,
Yeah.
like I struggled, that was so hard. I spent
So,
some good time feeling shame and feeling regret
yeah.
around, you know,
Yeah.
that yeah, I chose that, you know. And it's
So I think it's important when people decide to defend a boundary, which we're going to put into practice in a moment, that they go like, what am I choosing? Like, what am I choosing for the ultimate? Like, what is the ultimate thing that I'm prepared to lose? Like, if it means that I'm going to put this boundary in place and this person is going to disappear out of my life, because I mean, it could happen. Probably won't, but if it does, then am I prepared to do that? Because if I'm not, then I'm not going to ever put up a boundary. And I mean, defend a boundary. I'm just going to carry on doing what I've always done.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. I just want to put a little pin in this, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say something that when it comes to emotional and these kinds of things, I want to put a pin in something. I had a friend who went running. and had her cell phone and whatever Apple earpods stolen, right? And someone was like, oh, you should never go running without a phone, with your phone. And I'm like, she didn't do anything, right? Like, that is not a boundary. Someone come and hit you over the head and take your phone is not you defending a boundary. That's just that's that's something else. Right? What we're talking about is like a normal social interaction, not where someone is violent, and that that could be a robber or someone in your life, right? It's not it doesn't we're not talking about this.
Yeah, it's relationships between people and the relationship dynamics that we have. Okay, so now that we understand that it all starts with us, now we can suddenly start to realize that maybe, just maybe, there is another way. Because what I used to think boundaries was that if I put this in place, then this person's going to be different with me. And I need this to land, everybody, that you don't do this to change another person's behavior. Like, the amount of times I get messages or Facebook messages or comments on posts that says, how do you get somebody to respect your boundary? I've told them more than 5 times that this is a no-go, but they keep doing it. And that right there is where we go. That's not a boundary, because you are not in control of somebody else changing. What you are 100% in control of, and the only thing that you're in control of, and if you can really get this, your life will change overnight, is you. Your actions, your thoughts, your words, your work ethic, your kindness, anything to do with you, that is in your control. So I want to use an example for this. I walk into a room and there's somebody standing in the room and they've been triggered and they turn to me and they start swearing at me. And I say to them, stop swearing at me. And they carry on swearing at me. And I go, I've asked you to stop swearing at me. And they carry on. And then I start going, well, if you don't stop swearing at me, no, that's not it. It's, if you carry on, I'm leaving. Because now I'm protecting me. And this is the very thing that's in my control. I can't remove that person from the room. I can't sticky tape their mouth closed, and I can't stop them from doing what they're doing. But I can defend me, protect little Candace, and leave. So if I'm on the phone with somebody and I don't feel like they're respecting me, if you continue to speak to me like that, I'm going to be hanging up. Okay, and then I hang up. But that's absolutely in my control. Not stop speaking to me like that.
Right, so one of the, like, my other pet hates, the first one was, I'm going to put up a boundary instead of I'm going to defend a boundary. That, like, just rubs me. And the second one was like, I've told him and told him and told him, and he will not respect my boundary. And it's like, yes, that's exactly right. People have freedom and you want them to have freedom. You don't want someone to be doing something because you've told them, and, be you. But if you're going to be you and that's not compatible with me, I am doing X. But a boundary is for you. It's not for other people. Other people don't have to respect your boundaries. There's a caveat to this, right? If you're in a relationship with someone, a kid, a parent, a lover, whatever it is, right? So now that person, part of that agreement is, I will try and make an effort to protect your boundaries. But that's a gift. Let's put a pin in that. Normal people all around, do not owe you to keep your boundaries. It's like, please don't make a noise while we're in the complex. So I've got kids, I'm going to make a noise and I have a right to make a noise. And just because you have a boundary doesn't mean I have to behave differently. We can think differently, and we do think differently. And it's a huge mistake to think that my thinking is your responsibility. It's not. When you don't think the same way I do, I get to choose what to do with that.
Yeah. So I get to choose based on awareness and new knowledge, knowing that when I don't, I'm abandoning myself. but I don't get to change somebody else's behavior because I'm putting a boundary in place. And I want to just say one thing. Like, if you can just think about the emotional, mental, and physical wasting of time and energy of trying to get somebody else to change because of a boundary that you're enforcing, and like you'll go and complain to everybody. You'll get into bed at night. You'll be so angry. You'll wake up irritated. You won't want to go to work. You'll sit in traffic. It will ruin your life. And like I said, when you can show me how to change someone else, please, I promise you, I will pay top dollar for that. But in the meantime, I know for a fact that people have to want to change, and I'm not in control of that. And this is very, very hard for somebody who is as controlling as what I am. But it's only coming from a space of, I've tried literally everything to change somebody else. Let me tell you what I've tried. I've tried being the kind, caring person like this. You know, Bob, I really think this will be really good for you. Like, this is not for me, this is for you. I have your best interest at heart. And if you just do this one thing different, I promise you, you're going to be so much happier. And Bob doesn't change. Okay, now I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. So now I'm going to be angry. And Bob doesn't change. Like, that's just two examples. I can list an entire 2 full A4 scap page of the things that I've tried, and not one of them has worked. Not one of them has worked. People have to want to change. And I've just had a moment where I've thought of the let them theory with Mel Robbins. So her thing is let them, but the part people miss is let me. So that's the second part. So let them be angry and irritated and, you know, not clean the dishes. But then let me, and then this is where the choice part comes in. And this is the part where we take our power back. And the guilt, oh, the guilt. The guilt is only coming from a deep core belief that I'm a horrible person if I say no, which is generational, which is what our parents did, and it's not true. You're a horrible person if you say yes when you mean no, because you're being dishonest. So that's a mindset shift that we have to. You're not a bad person for defending a boundary. Okay, so now I want to just speak about the actual moment when you have to defend a boundary. Okay, so there comes a moment, and right now your body's screaming at you, and you're like, okay, I need to say no and I need to leave. And I like to see it as if you literally, you're walking down this road and you've just come to a T-junction. You're at the end of the road. Now you've got literally 2 choices. Okay, the first choice is that you can go and do exactly what you've always done, but then you're going to be walking down the same road, and then you need to know you're going to get everything you've always gotten. And what is that? Resentment, anger, depletion, feeling like everybody is taking advantage of you and that you are undervalued and unseen. Or you're at the end of the road and you are so uncomfortable, you want to climb out of your own skin, but you take a deep breath and you go, right, I'm now going to say no, and I'm going to defend this boundary. From experience, that's the hardest part. Look at this, is the new Zoom update. When I put my hand up, it raises my hand.
That is
so now I take a deep breath and I choose the other way. And so that's the hardest part, is the moment when I choose. Okay, now I'm going to be walking down the road, and I need to know that I'm going to really receive different things. Okay, so it's a new road with a new outcome. The outcome, however, is not always the, oh, yay, I'm so glad you put a boundary in place. The guilt kicks in, the little voice in your head that says, oh my goodness, like that person is so kind to you. How could you have even said that? The critical voice and the obsessive thoughts. Okay, you need to expect that. Okay, and then you just need to remind yourself, no, this is the reason people don't defend their boundaries, because it's uncomfortable. And then you need to also know, this is so important, you need to know that people are first going to kick against it before they just accept it. And that's not their fault. That's not their fault. You need to be extra patient and extra kind and extra loving, especially with the people that you love. It's like you've taught them how to treat you. Now you're walking into a brand new situation. You're like, this isn't working for me. You're making completely new choices. And they're like, what the heck? What have I done with, where's my mom? Where's my partner? Like, who is this person? And so it's about compassion for yourself and compassion for that person until that becomes their new norm. Until that becomes their new norm. And there's just, I'm sure you're being very good and patient while I just blabber on. Well done.
I mean, you're never going to know what it took.
I can see, but you're very good. But it's so important for me that people know that this stuff is normal. Because when they are in the thick of it, they're like, oh, yes, they said this was going to be uncomfortable. I need to push through. And why do I need to push through? Because I don't want what I got on that road. I need to go down this road. And start small. Start small. Okay, let's start small. What did you want to say? I'll give you a chance.
Yeah, I want to just, okay, so I want to just talk about what does this look like in real life, right? So you have a friend, let me just think of a personal example, right? Okay, so I have this friend who phones me, right? And I'm like, this is like the 5th time today. And I just don't have the time and I feel guilty and and now I decide to myself, I'm going to defend this boundary. What that looks like is for the first 5 times they phone, I'm there getting guiltier and guiltier because I'm not defending my boundary. And then what happens is 10 minutes into a normally half an hour conversation, like I make some excuse. And then I'm like kind of proud of myself because I did sort of close, but didn't really tell the person. So it wasn't really defending. And then, out of the guilt, I kind of let them for the next 4 phone calls. And then finally I like bring it up in some kind of soft, gentle way. And, it's like you don't change like that, right? It's like it's like day one, there's nothing. That was yesterday. Today, it's
You're
like,
lagging.
oh my God, this is horrible now, and it's a process,
It's a process.
And that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is when that phone rings, ain't the time to be deciding what's going on with your boundary. You need to sit down at night or in the morning when nothing's going on, no one's phoning you, no one's thing, and think to yourself, this human, what does this human think about that situation? And figure out what you want to do, like soberly. And when the time comes, you may or may not be able to do it, right? But it's about that. It's about, if they do this, then I'm going to do that, and slowly build that energy and build that power, because it will push back the currency you've always wanted. The person themselves don't want you to change. There are so many forces trying to get us to not defend our boundaries.
Change and
Right?
not change.
And that's why we haven't changed, because if we wanted it and if it was easy, we would have just done it. So don't expect this to just be like, defend your boundaries from tomorrow and then everything's fine.
I want to use an example that people might relate to in work. So it's like, oh, my boss makes me work late every day. Oh, my boss makes me work late every day. Oh, I can't believe it. He called me at 7 o'clock at night. And 3-4 weeks down the line, you're like hating your boss. And then I'm like, so at what stage did you notice that your boundary was being breached? Because you would have felt it. Okay, so you didn't know. And at what stage do you go and defend your boundary? And the thing is, as long as it's kind and loving, and it's an honest conversation, your side of the street is clean. If they don't like what you're saying after that, you just remind yourself that this is you not abandoning you. This is new behavior. It's uncomfortable, But I promise you, your boss would much rather you speak up. Your boss would much rather you go into your boss's office and say, I work until 5 and I can't work after that. So please don't phone me after work, because bosses know what resentment does to their businesses. So there's such a big part that we are in control of, and we don't do anything about that until we learn this new way, and then we can start to really do something different. I just want to speak about self-abandonment for a moment, because for me, self-abandonment is honestly one of the sneakiest ways that I get to just make excuses for people, you know, stepping over whatever it is, my boundaries. So when I am not happy with something and I put on a smiley face and I pretend everything's fine, this is the codependent in me, then what happens inside? First of all, I'm not being honest. I'm not being honest, and I know so many people that do that. So that is now going like, I've got a smile on my face. Inside, I want to kill this person. Okay, what do I need to speak up? What do I need to say? So self-abandonment is putting yourself in situations again and again that you know that are not good for you. It's saying yes when you mean no. It is blaming the outside world and not taking ownership for the part that you had to play, which is where you get to take your power back. I don't know if you want to say anything about that, Moshe.
Yeah, I had something and now it's just slipped away. Oh, no, there it goes again. Give me a second.
It'll come back.
This is so funny. Yeah, it will come back.
So the opposite of self-abandonment is saying yes when you mean yes, saying no when you mean no, saying I can't, I would love to. You know, saying no to the invite on Saturday at your family gathering because you're exhausted and you know that you need a day to rest and fill your tank because you're going to be a better person on Monday because of it. It's choosing you in times when you would normally not. That is the opposite of self-abandonment. And it feels so good when you do. It's like shoulders back, like, I did that. I showed up for her. And I promise you, your little inner girl, inner little boy, they want to celebrate with you. Did you remember what you wanted to say?
Yeah, I do. So there's a very common place where people abandon themselves, don't know, spend lifetimes doing it, right? And that's in relationships. So it starts out, you know, you go out and you pretend to love guns because he does, or you know, all into makeup because that's what she wants, and right, and you end up pretending to be someone, right? And now you've made a relationship and you're that person. Now, how do you ever get out? How do you ever say, like, actually, you know, I hate guns and I don't want to do this, and like, so
your music sucks, and
your music sucks. You know, it's really, you know, I love the Ferrari and that's really why I'm in here, but like, right, whatever it is, okay, that you don't. And I always think about it like, if you're not you, right, your girlfriend is dating someone else who oddly is pretending to be you, right? And he isn't either. And so those two, and you're ending up with his girlfriend because you're pretending.
It's all a big mess.
Right? Exactly.
Just be who you need to be.
Be who you need to be, and you will attract the people who are your people, right? And it's the same with life and self-abandonment. If you are that miserable at your job, be you. Your boss will either respond or you'll move on and find the boss that's your boss or your.
Wow, I love that. I love that. So, you know? So you've walked into this job and he's looking at you and going, "Oh my goodness, she works overtime. She never complains. She answers her phone at 9 o'clock. Like, oh my word, this is the kind of person I want." And then you're like, "No, I can't be that." But you've actually been that from the beginning. So just put those boundaries in place. And if you can't go because you're not starting a new job, then it's small little boundaries at a time. Small little steps. And it might just be saying, I didn't like what you said. Or like just saying one thing that you would not normally say, just one thing, and then going, oh my God, that inside of you, obviously, oh, that was so uncomfortable, but I did it anyway. Because every time you go, that was so uncomfortable, but I did it anyway, your brain is now rewiring and it's going, you can do difficult things. You can speak up for yourself. You can not self-abandon. And when you get enough of those moments together, it becomes who you are. And it's not something that you have to do. It just is who you are. It just is who you are.
There's one other thing, a very, 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 very important reason to not defend a boundary. You are now married to this amazing human being, right? The guy is loving and kind and, present, and he buys you gifts, and he's a provider, and he loves your kids, and he's, but man, that gun thing, I just can't deal with the gun thing. Like, I hate guns. I don't want to, and you stop and you go like, currency, guns, that, that's okay. I'll pay that price. But when you choose it, and it's no longer a boundary that you want to defend. You go, beautiful. I will pay the price. That's okay. You can choose to pay the price. You're always choosing to pay the price, but choose it now with peace. That is a fantastic reason, right? I'm getting all of this and suffering with this. I'll pay the price. But that consciousness of knowing that you're doing it out of choice for whatever reason, right? I want a tidy kitchen. I was
about to say that.
I'm gonna do it. Never mind that you'll never do like whatever. I'm doing it for me.
I mean, my favorite author, one of my favorite authors, Byron Katie, who wrote the book Loving What Is, highly recommend reading that book. She says, you're the one who's got the issue with your kid's socks on the floor, so why don't you pick it up? And those are the kind of things that you don't always need to be defending. Like, your kids don't have a problem with their socks on the floor. Like, you can put a boundary in place. You know what? I'm not washing the dishes. I'm not washing the dishes. I'm not washing the dishes. Well, that might be a thing you might have to choose to just suck up because it's 5 days later and there's no dishes. And your spouse doesn't care. He's eating out of paper plates. So I think it's important to go, like, not everything needs to be defended. Not everything needs to be defended, but if you choose not to, it's a choice, and that's where the inner peace will come from. It's not just an unconscious thing. You've made that choice.
You can walk around all day going, oh my God, I don't know how these people can walk into this kitchen and just be okay. You don't have to know. They are. They are actually okay with it.
Absolutely. And my inner peace is more important. So I'm actually not going to walk into the kitchen. I'm going to come in through the other entrance straight into my bedroom.
Right. And I got time for one quick story. It's just delicious. Yes. My uncle used to work at a pharmacy, and pharmacies back in the day used to sell bus tickets. Like, that was the place. You'd go to a pharmacy, pharmacies would have bus tickets. He had a pharmacy on the terminus at the center of town. And I would go visit him and whatever, and he would always, people would come in, hi, do you have bus tickets? And he'd be like, no, we don't. And this would go on and on and on, and for whatever reason, they didn't keep bus tickets. One day he turned around to me and said, you'd think after all this time people would, and I was just like,
you cut out?
Start stocking them. Huh?
You cut out on a little piece there? You think after all this time?
My uncle said to me, you'd think after all this time, people would realize we don't sell bus tickets. There's a sign on the wall, and and I looked up at him and I was like, you'd think after all this time you'd start stocking bus tickets, right? Like, and it's so funny with it. This is what goes on with boundaries. I keep telling you, put the dishes away, and they're going like, why does she not get it? And you're going, why do they not get it? And everyone's like, why don't they buy bus tickets?
They don't get it. They literally don't get it. And you don't get some things too that they get.
That's exactly. You don't get that they don't get that, the kitchen's dirty. That's right. It's exactly right. They don't get that.
Amazing.
You don't get that.
Oh, your
That's the way it
internet
is.
every now and again is cutting.
Okay. I'll try and see if I can do
You seem to
something
be
about
back.
that.
Sorry. Okay, so please, I've said there in the chat, open for questions. Come on, guys. You have to have questions. But if you don't have questions, can you just pop in the chat something that's resonated? But more importantly, what is one thing that you know you are taking from this today that you are going to implement tomorrow? Literally some small actionable step that is different to before you came onto this workshop.
This is what it must feel like to be a DJ on a radio station. Is anyone
I
out
know,
there?
right?
How do you even know, right? Please, someone ask a question so we know we're talking to, like.
There we go. I'm going to say no when I need to. Thank you, Nat. And then I'm going to breathe through the discomfort and stick to it. Teachers are not very good at that.
Yeah, the irony of the fact that you're going to say no when you need to, but said yes to us making you ask a question.
She's just joining in, for goodness sake.
No.
Anyone else? Comments, questions before we start to wrap up? What's the best way to set a boundary with a loved one? So I think for me, it's to first be very clear on what you're defending and take some time to think about how to do it. It doesn't have to be a rushed thing. And then I like to role play the situation. Like the next time this happens, this is what I'm going to say. And then they're going to say this. And then I'm going to say this. And because that same situation you've been in before. And so you actually prepare yourself in the best way possible, remembering you're not in control of changing them and you've got to detach from the outcome. As long as it is loving, as long as it is kind, your end of the street is clean, how they respond is absolutely not in your control. So it is a thoughtful, thought out process that requires detachment from outcome. But yes, I don't know if that answers. I don't know if you want to say something about that.
Yeah, I think that it's about finding that space of who you are, right? And the space are guns that important to me that I'm prepared to pay the price? And if the answer to that is yes, right? If you feel fundamentally violated by the fact that there's a gun in the house and he's just that kind of person, he's not getting rid of the gun, then you need to choose what it's going to be when there's a gun in the house. What am I going to do? Am I going to, whatever, I'm going to leave. I'm going to put the gun in the safe and take the key. I'm going to, whatever it is that you're going to do if it's that important to you, or the price, am I willing to pay it? And it's an intimate conversation with yourself, because you cannot tell them what to do for your own boundary, right? And one of two things happens. Either you do something, whatever that thing is. I'm not going to keep quiet. I'm not going to be in a house with a gun that's not in the safe. I'm not going to whatever. Or I'm going to pay the price, right? This person doesn't want to do the dishes. I'm just going to do the dishes and pay the price and do it in peace. Like, you have to find the balance for you in each individual situation.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're going to go on to a few more things that have been popped to. Thank you for posting in the chat.
Okay.
I'm reminded that my boundaries are there to protect my inner child. I can say no. Yes, absolutely. Your inner child is relying on you to protect her. I'm guilty of self-abandonment. Yay. Just that awareness. You're 80% there. Just that awareness. Just being reminded that I need to be in control of my situation in whatever sphere of my life and in control of what's my side of the street, right? Nothing to do with changing anyone else, but absolutely, yes, your you and your responses and your boundaries.
I
Thank you for
want
the
to answer the next
insightful,
one.
sorry.
Oh, okay, sorry. Carry on.
Thank you for the insightful session. I've learned something new about myself. And is peace better than boundaries?
I want to get that one. I want to get that. This is the most important question that could be asked in this thing. And the answer is, who sent Lisa? Lisa, is peace better than boundaries?
Yeah.
I can't make your boundaries for you. You have to answer that question. That is exactly the thing. The currency of peace is something that you're going to want to give up or not. Is it like that for you? Right? I might be like, well, I don't care about peace. I just care about truth or justice. Right? You need to ask that question for yourself. You can't get an answer for that. That's the process of peacefully sitting down and deciding what it is you want to do.
Okay, and then I'm going to just push Lisa just a little bit out of her comfort zone. Is it peaceful when you don't have boundaries? Is that peaceful?
No. Because you're struggling with yourself, your inner peace.
Right.
100%. In actual fact, when you defend your boundary, you won't believe the inner peace that you have. And that, to me, you cannot put money on. You cannot put money on it. So it's not that you're giving up. So, Lisa, I don't know if you turn the volume up a little bit. Are you speaking?
Oh, yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So were you saying something?
No, I was just
Oh,
listening
okay.
and
Yeah.
agreeing with you.
Yeah. So the thing is, when our minds convince us that I'm giving up my peace, you're not going to do it. So you have to sit there and go, is it really even true? Is this peaceful? No. I'm angry, resentful, bitter, irritated, snappy, because I feel like everyone's taking advantage of me. And there we go. There you have your answer. You're not giving up your peace. You're creating peace in a new way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anna, was that a useful answer for you too? You said it was also your question.
Okay, so we're gonna
thank you so much for your interaction. I've got to tell you, it really
it's lovely. Okay, so
Can
we're
I
gonna
ask another question.
Yes.
Is there anything that you'd recommend to like practice like on a daily basis in terms of boundaries? Like, is there any kind of practices, you know, to perfect the art of setting boundaries and having people respond in a way that you want? Is there anything one can do?
Yeah. You do know what I'm going to say next, right, Moshe?
I know what you're going to say
Oh, that's a great question. It's literally like you read my mind and it was the next thing that was coming out. Did you read the script already? So we have developed something that is literally revolutionary. It is bite-sized, manageable little pieces of changing behavior, building your self-esteem, working through things that are holding you back, which is the reason that we don't, our limiting beliefs, our trauma, our triggers, all that in bite-sized little chunks. It's on an app, and you download the app and you just start. Day one, you watch a video, which is anything between 8 and 15 minutes, and then you have to go practice what the video said. Today, when this happens, just do this one thing. Today, when this happens, just do this one thing. Every 5 days, you are journaling, looking back, and you're seeing what is already different. You're taking a screenshot, you're uploading it to the app, and you're getting personalized feedback, literally. So it's going to be like, Lisa, I noticed this week this was very hard for you, but guess what? You did it. So you did it once, that means you can do it again. And so you're going to get evidence that things are changing, because we don't do that. We can change so much, but we don't look back and go, oh my goodness, we've changed. We're always ahead going, it's not enough. I'm not at the destination. I don't even know where we're going to, because there's never a freaking destination. And the first 2 weeks are completely free. So you, Mosh, can you put the link in the chat? Okay. So literally this, it's actually, let me just see, is Natalie still here? Because poor Natalie, she did say to me, oh, she's already gone off. She did tell me that she wasn't well. So Nats, Is she still here? No, she's not here. So Natalie is one of the people that's been on the quest the longest. I think she's only got like another 2 or 3 months of this phase, and she'll be done with this phase. And she is a very different human. Like, her communication is great. She's letting go of her perfectionism. Her work environment is so much more peaceful. But the work environment hasn't changed. It's because she did. And it's really, really doing well. So that's it. And it's a habit. It's 15 minutes every single day. That's the habit. That's the habit. And that's what you were saying. Is there something I can do? Well, there we go. And then,
So, Lisa,
yeah, Karen?
sorry, when I spoke about the expectations of how this is going to look in real life, right? Like, you're not going to change a boundary today, right? Like, you know, you're asking, is peace better than boundary? Like, that's going to bubble around in your mind for a while. Then you're going to say, I'm going to do this, and then you're going to do it, and the world's going to kick back at you, and you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do that. And then you'll think about it more. And, you know, we developed this fundamentally because it's a tiny little bit every day of gratitude, of awareness, of journaling, of breathing, of, you know, doing all of these kinds of things all the time is what makes a difference, right? Getting a little slice of tonight every day is what makes the difference fundamentally, because you just keep yourself in it, you know, keep yourself doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it might not land in this week's video, but we're going to revisit it, and then you'll be more ready. And then we're going to revisit it, and then you're going to be more ready. So those things that are the most important for me, it's presence, because when you're present, there's no problem. The problem is always in the future or in the past. When you are looking for what's going right, so there's gratitude. When you are taking care of yourself properly, when those things are in place, the outside, it's just, and that's where the resilience and grit comes in. So then Moshe has also just posted the, I don't know if it's, never know if it's posted or pasted. Anyway, it's the Facebook group link. If nothing else, please join that. And then, yeah, we put stuff on there that's really this kind of thing, which is really taking control and power of your life and what is in your control. Okay, let's hear. What are you taking? Sorry, Moshe.
And the Facebook group is really for participants of the quest, and often part of the tasks is to post something on that group, and people, it's also a support group, right? So you got a question like, you know, what do I do about this boundary? You can put it there, and people who, you know, who in this kind of thing can offer advice, and we're there offering advice and being part of it too. So that's the Facebook group. And yeah, Candy, beautiful.
Sorry, I didn't mention that once you've done the 2 weeks free, after that it's 300 Rand a month subscription, cancel at any time. But you really have to do those first 2 weeks to be able to know that it works. Because when you're on day 6, 7, 8, 9, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm calmer, I'm waking up more positive, and you're like, okay, it works, I'm in. So that's why we give those very first 2 weeks. Okay, guys, please, 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 we are relying on everybody to make this a growing every single Wednesday. Every Wednesday at 7:30, we have a different discussion, a different topic. And so if you enjoyed this, we'll be back next week. And please send this to the people that you know could do with this kind of thing too, so that we can grow this.